In what veteran trainer Mark Cass described as the most perplexing disqualification of his illustrious career, Wednesday's fourth race at Horseshoe Indianapolis left both the racing community and social media buzzing with disbelief. The unfortunate victim of this DQ was Livy Me Dreaming, who was swiftly relegated from the winner's circle to a disappointing 8th place finish. Within moments of this unexpected turn of events, Cass couldn't hide his astonishment, and he wasn't alone. Social media platforms were flooded with bewildered reactions, echoing a common sentiment: how could this possibly be a DQ? Even a full day later, many remained confounded by the Stewards' decision. The video footage under scrutiny included 3 critical angles for Stewards: the pan, the head-on view, and even a drone perspective. However, despite the scrutiny, no official statement explaining the DQ was ever released by the Stewards. The displeasure of Livy the Dream's connections was palpable on social media. Jockey Declan Carroll wasted no time expressing his sentiments, quipping, "I'm relieved I'm not the only one." Assistant trainer and Declan's father, David Carroll, followed suit, branding the decision as disgraceful. Owner St. Simon Racing was equally dismayed, asserting, "So disappointed in the Stewards. My horse should have never been taken down." Cass, with his extensive experience and a record that includes 42 disqualifications since 1998, had a final word, pending the Stewards' response. "I've been in this sport for over 4 decades, seen over 100 horses disqualified, but this is by far the worst call against us," he vented on X, formerly known as Twitter. This controversial disqualification reignited Pat Cummings' fervor for advocating the adoption of the International Federation of Horseracing Authorities, IFHA, Category 1 rule in North American racing jurisdictions. Cummings, the executive director of the Thoroughbred Idea Foundation, previously associated with the Hong Kong Jockey Club, engaged in a spirited exchange with Churchill Downs Incorporated's executive director of racing, Gary Palmisano Jr. Under Category 1, Cummings elucidated on the TIF website, stewards must determine whether the horse that suffered interference would have finished ahead of the horse causing the interference if the foul hadn't occurred. If not, then no change is warranted. Palmisano held a differing perspective, asserting, "I disagree entirely. You cannot reasonably claim that number 2, who suffered significant interference, would have beaten number 9 after just 100 yards into turn 1. How can you confidently apply that Category 1 rule to an incident like this?" In colloquial terms, Category 2 rule is more straightforward: a foul is a foul. The IFHA's definition of Category 2 states, if the interferer is guilty of causing interference that affected the race's outcome, the interferer is placed behind the sufferer, regardless of whether the sufferer would have finished ahead of the interferer if the incident hadn't occurred. Beyond the specific race in question and the heated debates surrounding Category 1 versus Category 2 rules in stewards' decisions, horseplayers chimed in, emphasizing the need for consistent rule application throughout the sport. Presently, Oklahoma stands as the sole jurisdiction in the United States employing Category 1 rules. Victor Escobar, a steward in Oklahoma, emphasized the rationale behind their shift to Category 1 rules, noting, "There's no doubt that Category 2 rules are familiar to all stakeholders in American racing, but they led to inconsistencies, whether real or perceived." Subscribe to our channel now and saddle up for thrilling content that'll get your heart racing. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss a stride on our equestrian adventures. Let's ride together.